Okay, so we're fast forwarding. Basically, just pretend that John and I have advanced up into this current position. So here we are. We're going to pretend that John has no spells up right now, or anything like that. And Sorcerer's sitting on 4 focus. Okay. So once you get close enough, you can actually start making attacks. So the first thing we're going to go through is ranged attacks. There's actually 3 types of range attacks, but we're going to start with the basics. The first thing you need to know is what a caster's or what a model's rat is, the RAT on the card. So we're going to pretend Sorcerer is going to shoot at a jack. John, what is Sorcerer's rat?
5.
Okay, so she has basically a shooting skill of 5, which we're going to show you here. Now, the next thing you need to know is what is the range of the gun.
In this case, 12.
Okay, so this is where you're going to be. So we're going to pretend that Sorcerer has moved to where she wants to go, and she's going to take a shot at this jack. Okay, so you can see like that. Now, first thing she has to do is she's going to say, "I'm shooting." Okay, and then she's going to measure the range from the front of her base to this jack to make sure it's in range. Okay, so John, if you want to just kind of show here. Easily in range. Okay, if he had been out of range of it, in this case, it would just automatically miss and nothing would happen. But he is in range, so that's good for Sorcerer. So next thing, like I said, was the rat. She has a rat of 5. I have a defense on this jack of 12. Okay, most things in this dice, I mean, you actually, unlike some other games, you only really need a couple dice here. This is very for the very basics. What John would do to try and hit that jack is roll 2d6, which are a d6 is basically a 6-sided dice for those who don't know. Okay, he's going to roll 2d6, add his RAT, which is 5, and he has to equal or beat 12. Okay. Okay, John, so go ahead and roll. Okay, so John rolled a 3 and a 4. So that's 7 plus John's rat of 5, which is 12, which is perfect. He just hits the jack because he rolled a 12. You have to equal to or greater than that. Okay, so he hit the jack. That's great. Now the next thing you want to check here is what the P plus S of his weapon is. Strength of this gun on this caster here is 12. Now my jack here has a base armor of 17, plus he gets 2 because he has a shield. Okay, we're not going to get too in depth with that stuff either, but some guys have shields that gives them extra armor. So basically, right now he has an armor of 19. John has a gun stat of 12. So once again, he would take 2d6, and he's going to take the 2 dice and add 12 and try and beat 19. He has to get over 19 to start doing damage. So go ahead, John. So John rolled a whopping 3, which plus 12 is 15, would not be enough to damage, so nothing would happen. Now, just for the sake of showing you, we're going to pretend John rolled 10, so John would do 22 altogether. Okay? So if John had rolled a 10, it would be 22 damage, which would be 3 more than 19, so basically that jack will take 3 damage. You'll see that on all jacks they have a little grid here. Okay. The way you do this, okay, when you take damage, so we're going to show the Revenger here because he's taking the damage. John has done his damage. He's going to roll 1d6. He rolled a 4. So for me, I'm going to go down to my jack. I'm going to go to the 4th column. It's not going to be very clear here, but I'm going to go to the 4th column, and he did 3 points of damage. I'm going to mark 3. Okay, and there's different ways you can do this. This is how we do it. 3 points of damage. Okay, we'll get into what all that stuff means in the after, but that's basically it. John has done damage. Now the next thing he has to check is what his rate of fire is. Or he doesn't have to, but most guns will have a rate of fire of 1. What that means is that it can only fire once per turn. Okay, some guns do have a rate of fire of 2, 3, and sometimes more. But most of them just have 1, which means he can fire once, and that's all he can shoot for this turn. Okay, so that's what John did there. So that was basically, that's just a basic gun. There's actually 2 other guns here. Okay, as you see, John has what's called a destroyer, who has an AoE gun. So, once again, we're going to show you. If I had my caster thinking I'm safe right there, and John shoots with this guy here on this jack, and let's say he hit, he actually gets an AoE. Okay, the destroyer has an AoE of 4. So you see this 3 circles. Say 3-inch, 4-inch, and 5-inch blast. In this case, it's 4. So you would put this over the target, right around the middle of the base, best you can. And anything under that 4-inch template is going to take some damage. Now this gets a little bit more confusing. We'll explain that in the next video, but just showing you basically what that is. And then you also have, my other guy here has what's called, we call a flamer, or a flamethrower. Okay, this one has a range of, I believe it's 8 or 10, but basically what you do is you're going to use this template here, and anything that's underneath it, so if I had a jack that was right there and he shot, you would measure from the base to here, anything under this template would be taking damage. So it's pretty potent, it's usually short range, but usually very effective. Those are the 2 things there, and like I said, we'll go into more detail here in the next video.